Hi, everybody.
Hey. So this week we're going to start on a somber note in the beginning, and I promise we're going to get to fun game stuff in a little bit. But last week we skipped this our Wizard Weekly in recognition of Blackout Tuesday. This is in recognition of the Black Lives Matter movement and the terrible atrocities that have been going on with police brutality and civilian deaths at the hands of the police, especially in the Black community. And we, as a company and as individuals, we stand with the Black community in support of Black Lives Matter and against police brutality. We've had a little bit of pushback from some people when we posted about Black Lives Matter, and generally speaking, we don't, as a company, get political. Like, basically, I feel like religion and politics, that old rule in a polite conversation, you just leave that stuff out, and we're a game company. We make cool games. That's what we do. But with this particular case, I feel like it's not so much a political issue as a human rights issue, and the stuff that's going on is just too harsh to ignore. And of course, all lives matter, but it's the Black lives that are being snuffed out in the streets by the police, the very people who are supposed to be protecting all of our rights, and it's just too much to ignore. If this kind of thing was going on against any community, Asian Americans, Caucasian Americans, of course we would stand up against that as well. But it's something that we support the Black Lives Matter movement for those reasons, but we'll get to game shortly. Deb, I don't know if there's anything you wanted to add.
I just wanted to add to that, just to say that we have also. This is upsetting to us personally, but also as a company, we want to make sure that our games are inclusive, that the board game industry is inclusive. So we're looking at what we're doing internally, what we're doing externally, how we're supporting the game industry to look for ways that we can improve that. We've had some things that we've been doing as a company already, but we'll be continuing to look at how we can make things even better. Because while we do focus on games, we also want to make sure our community is safe and inclusive for everyone. So now I'm going to move on and start talking a little bit about Origins Online. So we were like, oh, no conventions. It's going to be pretty relaxing. No. Every single person that was running a convention's like, oh, I think we'll do a virtual convention. So it's starting to ramp up, us getting busy with Origins Online. So I just wanted to let people know what to expect from Origins Online. So Origins Online has virtual booths. So each booth for a company is going to list products. It seems like that's sort of like a website where each company, we just got our links, but you're going to upload images and videos. If you have one, you can put a link in there. So I'm thinking we may do a link to a Zoom room. So if people haven't played any of our products, we'll rotate showing off products. You can come in and ask us questions about your products. But I think we'll probably be doing something like that. And then there's also multiple live streams going on at Origins Online and tournaments. So I'm going to talk about what we're doing with the live streams, and then I'll hand off to Rob to talk about what we're doing with the tournaments. The first thing that we're doing with the live streams is on Friday, Jeremy Howard, who is totally awesome and funny and fun. He is with the Man vs. Meeple team. He's going to be playing Hero. He's not going to play Hero Realms. He's going to do a spotlight on Hero Realms. So he's going to tell people about it and touch on it, show it. We think he's really the most appropriate person because we recently showed off the new art with him that is going to be going into the base game of Hero Realms.
Yeah, looking so cool. Yeah.
And he looks so cool. So he's going to be doing that on Friday. And then, let me turn this off. And then on Sunday, the Man vs. Meeple team, they're like massive fans of Sorcerer. They love Sorcerer. So before Sorcerer was out and we only had like a couple copies. I can remember, Kara being like, oh, can I have one of these copies? And it was literally like we had only 2 or 3 copies total for us to have. And we were like, yes, you can have one. So we were excited that they were going to be doing they're one of the groups doing the playthroughs at Origins Online. So they're going to be showing off Sorcerer. They'll just be showing off the base game, not just, but they're not going to be doing a playthrough of the solo co-op things, but Rob and I are working on setting up here so that we can potentially show some of that.
Yeah, and on
no
the
pressure.
On the Kickstarter that's coming soon, there'll be a video of the play of that. Just like in the original Sorcerer Kickstarter, we had a video of the play of the regular game. The original game in this will have a links to those videos, of course, but also a playthrough of the solo version.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen Sorcerer, it's a great time to like watch someone play in live. They'll be chat, and you can ask questions, and those guys are super fun. So that would be cool if you want to check that out. And then also on Sunday, I'm running a panel. It's called the Piranha Pit. We originally named it Shark Tank, but that got nixed because apparently there's something called Shark Tank that
some copyright laws.
This isn't a parody, even though it is a parody. So it's a designer Shark Tank. I'm moderating it, and it's going to include multiple publishers, and designers will come and pitch their games. Give a little elevator speech in 5 minutes or less with a timer, and the publishers will give feedback. I think it's going to be really fun. I was on the panel at Tabletop Network, which is a event for designers, which is on site with Board Game Geek. And if this goes well, if people are interested, we can't fit a lot of designers in the slot, but I was chatting with Rob about, maybe this is something we could do like once a month and get different, publishers involved, or do it, a couple more times online if other people want to participate and they weren't able to sign up.
Yeah. So if you've got a game you've been working on and you're ready for, some tough love on it, then it could be a really cool opportunity.
Yeah, and these panels, we all at Tabletop Network, it was me, Stephen Bonacore, Martin Wallace, and on this one, Stephen's going to be on. We have Amari Akil. We have Rachel Blask from 524 Games, and we'll give you feedback whether or not it would be in our do take. Shark Tank is more for informal feedback, new experienced designers who have the guts to get up and just get feedback in public.
Yeah.
The reason why we want it to be public is more people can watch, they can get feedback. So things that people got feedback on were like, oh, they had too many components and that would cost way too much to produce. Like there was a game that had a lot of dice in the last one, for example. So it's super fun. If you guys next week, I'll probably have more details. I don't have all the details, but we'll be posting about that on social media. So I just wanted to mention that. And then, let me move on to the Legends series. Oh, there's also comments here. Just have a lot of hellos, and people like the image of Jeremy.
Yeah, it's awesome. A super awesome art. Yeah, I love the art in our games in general.
Just the designer Piranha Pit. I thought I had a
cool graphic
for that. Okay, Rob, can you tell us a little bit more about the star? I know a lot of people saw it already.
So we've got Legend series that we're doing, and this is the first time we personally have run a Legend series online. We've supported one with a fan community, but so this event, you'll be able to play from wherever with your device using Star Realms Digital. And if you win a Legend series, you actually become a card in the game. So there, most likely that would be in the form of one of the hero cards, but possibly on an event or one of the legendary commanders or something along those lines. But basically, you become a card in the game that will be in future sets, and eventually, of course, in the app. So at some point, you'll be playing the app and be able to play your own card. This event will be run digitally. There are instructions on the web on how to sign up. We'll basically, because the Star Realms app doesn't have internally large tournaments, we have the arena and other stuff that you can do. But for this, we're going to be using software that exists on the internet for running tournaments. We're going to be using Battlefy, I believe it's called, and basically you'll register for the tournament. You buy a ticket through the White Wizard Games store, and to register, when you do that, you're giving us permission to give your information to Origins. So you'll automatically, when you buy that ticket, you'll be signing up for Origins online. And so you'll have access to all the cool stuff that's going on there. And the tournament itself will be posting the pairing matchups on online, and you'll basically be told who to challenge in the app and what sets to use. We'll be using the base set. We'll be using Colony Wars. We'll be using Frontiers. So in order to play, you have to have the Star Realms app installed on a device. You have to own all three of those sets and have, and if you haven't already synced purchases, so that so you have all those on whatever device you're going to be playing. And then each round will tell you who to play against, and then you'll report using the Battlefy website the results of your match. And then we'll do the next round's pairings. Each round will be a 1-game match. So you'll play 1 game against your opponent, then report the results. We'll set up another round. It's going to be a Swiss tournament. So win or lose your matches, you're going to get to keep playing until the end of the Swiss rounds, when we're going to be doing a cut to the top 8 players. And then in the top 8, it'll go to a best 2 out of 3 elimination bracket. So when you get paired up against someone in the top 8, you'll have a best 2 out of 3 match against that person. We've got all kinds of super cool prizes. Probably the most exciting one for a lot of players out there is if you make the top 8. We have incredibly cool alternate art Scouts and Vipers. You can't buy these; they don't show up in the the digital store for Star Realms. The only way to get them is through big events. And so in this event, if you make top 8, your account will get alt art Scouts and Vipers. We also have a top 8 avatar that's available. And of course, the winner becoming a card in the game, super cool. And in addition, there's a lot of credits for that you can use for arena or for cosmetics and stuff in the app. The first place player is going to be getting 5,000 credits, and 5th through 8 gets 1,000. And even if, obviously there's a lot of cool stuff for the top 8, but even if you just come and play and you're more casual, we got awesome stuff for you. There is a participation avatar. So everybody who plays is going to get a special avatar that for participation in the event. So you'll have a special avatar. And every round you win, you'll get 100 credits in the Swiss round. So basically, and the credits can be used in the arena to do extra arena runs. And they can also be used to get the cool cosmetics in the game, unlock the foil card. So that's the Star Realms event. Check out the links. That'll be super fun. And
yeah, Katie, if you can post the links in the comments.
Yeah,
please.
Thank you, Katie. And we also have a Legend series for Epic. Now, with Epic, we have tournament capability within the app. And for those of you who don't have Epic Card Game Digital, Epic is a strategy card game. It plays like a trading card game, like a Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone style game, but everything that you need to play the app fully is free. When you download the game, you get unlimited copies of every card in the game for building constructed decks. You can literally build any deck right out of the gate. If you see someone win a championship event and you want to build their deck, no problem. You can just build it right away. You don't have to spend a lot of money to get cards, or spend a lot of time playing to unlock cards, or spend money to unlock cards. You just get all the cards. You can also play sealed, constructed, draft as much as you want versus people for free. The only things you pay for in Epic are competitive events and cosmetics. So we have tournament capability built into the app. So there's a event you can sign up for there. Within the app, it's going to cost 400 gems, I believe, to register, and so you can just buy the in-app currency. That's the equivalent of like $3 to $5, depending on what ratio you bought the gems at. So basically, if you buy them like in the minimum quantities, you get less per dollar. If you buy larger amounts at once, you get a discount. So basically, same price as the Star Realms event. And we have super cool prizes in there as well. Winner becomes a card in the game. There are gold tickets for players who make the top 8. Gold tickets allow you to play in our monthly championships. We have a $500 cash prize, first place every month, and also gems and other cool things. We'll have a top 8 avatar, just like in the Star Realms event, and participation avatar. Every round that you win in the Swiss, you're going to get you actually get a foil card for every game you play in the Swiss, and you also get an additional foil for every round you win. So in Epic, you get all the cards for free, but you can build up a collection of the foil cards. And so when you're building a constructed deck, you can put your foil cards in, look all cool. And when you're drafting or playing sealed, just like in Star Realms, if you own the card in foil, it shows up in foil when you're drafting. And in some of the super hard to find foils, we'll also be giving those out to players who make the top 8. So lots and lots of cool prizes in the Epic event. And we have special alt art tokens, human, demon, zombie, and wolf tokens, just like the Star Realms alt art Scouts and Vipers. These are things you can only get through competitive events. So it's something really cool you can win to show off if you make the top 8. So and the Epic event is going to be 1 game matches, Swiss cut to a top 8, and everything will run within the app. Knock on wood, hopefully everything will go smoothly. So those are our Legend series.
Yeah, and I also do want to mention, someone asked online, it's not the first time we've got the question, if I win the Legend series, can I ask you to put someone else on a card in the game? And the answer is yes.
Yeah.
I mean, generally a family member, someone.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we need permission from whoever's, whoever wants to be on the card. Then that we need that person.
Yeah, we've had people request like their spouses or their children and things like that, and we can work with you on that. So we had a very interesting question from Martin. I don't know if you saw it pop up. What is Rob doing on lockdown? How is he looking 10 years younger? So I want to let you guys know. Well, obviously we're not getting haircuts. His hair is looking cooler. Mine's just looking darker.
Getting crazy long.
I need to get like a Star Realms beanie or something. But also we've been spending a lot of time outside doing yard work and things that we never usually have time for with our children. And the kids have been awesome. We can't go to the playground with our 5-year-old. So Rob spent 2 weekends putting together a swing set for her. I think the outdoors is good for you. So yeah, if everyone's wondering, try to spend more time outside. It's really good for you. And play games. Alan asked about the foil Kickstarter printing, Star Realms Nova. That's the Star Realms Nova collection.
Yeah. So basically with that, we have a new round of foil cards that we are working on. So basically, we are playing around with different techniques. So basically, there are, when you make a foil card, you have your regular printing file. So basically you have, you tell them how much of each ink to use. With the foil cards, there's also this this layer, opaque layer that you can put on the cards in certain places, which you print on top of. So sometimes you're printing your image on top of just the shiny foil, and sometimes you're printing it on this opaque ink that got laid down first. So we're playing around with where we put that opaque stuff. How fine can we get the details on that? Like, if we have a tiny little line of no opacity there, does that come through, or does it not really work? Can we use less opacity and more in certain areas to get cool effects? So basically, we're doing another printing round where we're just screwing around with the files to get that look, to get the look that we're looking for. Also, we're working to try and make sure that we the cards hold up long term as well as possible. One issue with foil cards, because you have a layer of that foil material on the card, they're vulnerable to warpage, basically bending over time. So we're looking at different materials to try and combat that as much as possible. We're having the factory make up samples of the score dials that were in there to make, basically want those to, be smooth and look great and feel good, etc. Samples of the overall box material. So basically at this stage we are, it's sample. So basically we mess around with stuff, we try it, and we get samples. Haven't gotten that next round of samples in. When we do, we'll probably show off, and some of them might look terrible because, hey, that's what you get when you're futzing around, and that's sort of the evolutionary process that we go through, where, okay, this worked, that didn't, keep going with the stuff that worked, get rid of the stuff that didn't, and try and to get to the end where you have a really, really beautiful product. And this is one of the reasons why it's really hard to nail down exactly when stuff is going to be ready, and we have these sort of estimated dates, and that when we're doing Kickstarters, because basically we like things to be perfect, and sometimes you like, do this, factory, and they come back with it, and you're like, awesome, this is perfect. And other times you're like, no, this is not good enough, and you send it back, and then they give you another one, and you just don't know how many loops of that process you're going to do before you're happy. And each iteration takes time. And we're doing things like with the foils, where we're applying these different layers. We're trying a whole bunch of different techniques at the same time. So we're like, okay, on this next batch of foils, Randy is basically trying a whole bunch of different techniques at the same time. We'll get a bunch of those back, and we'll have like numbering on them, so we know, okay, this is the one where we did this is the one where we did that, and we can see what works and what doesn't, and hopefully speed that process up as much as possible. So that's where we're at with the Nova collection. We're really excited about it, and it's super important to me that the Nova collection be really, really beautiful. This is so we're going to take the time to get it right.
Yeah, and if there's anyone, just really briefly, if there's anyone who doesn't know what the heck we're talking about, because there's always somebody that missed it and later tells me, how do I get this thing? This thing you're not going to be able to get later. So it's called the Nova Collections, an all foil deluxe set of Star Realms, and it's Kickstarter only. We almost everything else we ever have done has gone to retail, but in this particular case, because of the size and the type of product it is, it's not going into regular distribution. I think it is still available for a late backer on our store. And if you are a retail store, we are offering a retailer kit, at a highly discounted, a retailer discounted price for stores if they do want to offer it. So just, you can message me and I can get you information on that. And we will be sending that out in our retailer newsletter. Again, we're giving people a last minute chance on the Hierum's pre-release retailer kit. So We don't want to like pound you with too much stuff because we know many stores are just starting to reopen. Our store, Excelsior, is opening up.
Nice.
They can allow 3 people in their store at a time. It's a small storefront. So we're really excited about that. So talking about Hero Realms, I just want to touch on the new sets for Hero Realms, and new play mats are coming to retail. So this is fantastic. If you missed the Kickstarter, they'll be coming to local game stores. So if people are wondering what's happening in the industry, how's business going? Our store's opening. I know it varies by region, but we have definitely seen, more recently in the past couple of weeks that distributors are starting to place orders, which means stores are starting to place orders again. Many stores are starting to open up in limited capacity in the United States right now. Feel free to comment about what's happening in your area, because I'd be curious to know. And we are also, as we've mentioned before, we have pre-orders for these products on our online site. We've been encouraging people to order on our online site and support their local game store by entering the details of their local game store in the notes section when they do a purchase. Then 25% of that sale will go to their retail store. So that's still an opportunity as well. And for those people have been asking when we're shipping our pre-orders, because we have been pushing we generally don't push our e-commerce store very much, because we've always been like, we want to promote the local game stores. We believe that's what makes the gaming community great, and we want people to go and meet other gamers and things like that. But in this case, we did promote it, and we wanted people to support their local game stores. So we'll be shipping out our pre-orders this week. So processing the orders this week. They may not go out till next week. So if you did place a pre-order, I just wanted to let people know, because we've had a lot of inquiries about when those orders are going to be processed, because the first item hits retail on June 23rd. So we want to give it those pre-orders time to arrive to people around or before the retail release date, and that's Ancestry Pack. So we'll have a rolling release date. So on June 23rd, Ancestry Pack will be available, with the exception of if stores, ordered the pre-release kit, they'll get some of every item, and they can sell those, when they get their pre-release kit. Do you want to add anything to that, Rob?
No, I think you did a good job covering it.
So Sorcerer fans who've joined, who've been very, very patient, Rob's now going to talk about so we have a Sorcerer Kickstarter coming up on June 23rd.
Yeah.
We have a date finally. It's very exciting. Peter's on as well. So people have any detailed questions, now is the time. He's in chat, and he joins every week if you have questions for him. And we are going to today talk about.
All right. So part of this Kickstarter, we have the Endbringer set, which has solo and cooperative play. You create a bad guy combining 3 different sets, just like you create a character in the base game. That play we'll talk about on a different stream. But in addition to that, the Endbringer set, there's also new character packs, new lineage packs, and new domain packs. In Sorcerer, you create your character you create your unique sorcerer for a game by combining a character deck, a lineage deck, and a domain deck. The character deck is who you are. The lineage deck is what type of magic you've inherited, and the domain deck is like where you've been training and gathering followers. It's your zone, right? And this week we're going to talk about the Forsaken Church domain pack. This is set in the American West, much like the character pack we talked about last week. And the Forsaken Church uses the new collateral damage mechanic. So when you make an attack with a minion in where your avatar in the battlefield your avatar is in, you get to deal collateral damage to your opponent, which they then need to assign to the battlefield or to one of their minions in that location. And let's hop to the next card. This set is very aggressive. So you can see the Dread Charger here. 5 attack on a minion that just costs 3. No, it's only got 1 essence. So this card is awesome to drop on the battlefield, as the final action in a battlefield where you're going to have the initiative and, you know, surprise 5 additional attack dice in that location. This one's a bit of a glass cannon, you know, easy to take out, but man, does it hit hard for a very low cost. And as always, awesome art. Let's bring up the, all right. This is the legend from the pack. Whenever you play a minion in the battlefield with the creature, you're going to be dealing a collateral damage to your opponent. So again, racking up that collateral damage. And then we jump to the next one, and this minion is really nasty. So basically, you've got a really solid body, 5 offense, 5 dice, 3 essence, so solid fighter. But when it does get taken down, 3 collateral damage to your opponent. So between this can really shake up your opponent's battlefield. So very hard hitting set, cool Western theme, and of course the creepy horror as always with Sorcerer. These sets are a lot of fun, and with Sorcerer, if anybody who has the stuff from all the Kickstarter exclusives from the last Kickstarter can attest, like, the base game, super fun, tons of replayability, but all these additional characters, lineages, and domains, they add so much replayability to the game, and they feel very different every time you play it. I remember sort of like early on in the process. Oh, our daughter came.
Here comes our hook to get us off our Facebook Live.
Hey, Daisy.
That was the last card, by the way.
But yeah, basically I remember playtesters being really surprised at how much those extra packs add to the game, because there's so much, after playing a bunch of games with the base set, there's like so much playing, so much replayability there. It's like, wow, do I really need expansion packs? But you find when you do add them, like the play on them is really cool. Peter has done a really great job capturing cool mechanics and different feel with all the sets. So tons and tons of fun. Okay, I think
at Daisy's face. I think that was everything. Let's see. Yeah, Peter answered a question here about whether we were going to get new player boards. So I think we're all set. So thank you everyone for joining. We'll see you next Tuesday. And
thanks everybody.
Yeah, come with questions. As you can see, Rob will go into great detail on any questions you ask here. So
painful detail. Sorry.
But it's really cool. Like, I was just on Twitter yesterday, there was a discussion about if people want to hear the detail behind the scenes of board game companies. So you'll hear them here. No. Hi, Jacqueline. So anyways, thanks everyone. Thanks everyone who said hi. It's really awesome also to see so many people joining for other countries and regions as well. Thanks.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Mama, Dada,
Yes, sweetie.